Hello, everybody. It's Toon Boy here, and we are back for episode 4 of Impact Wrestling. Before the Impact, let's start with the pre-show. In a terrible pre-show match, Savannah Evans defeated Misha in 4:49 by pinfall. 20 rated segment. I am not pronouncing her second name because I'll get it wrong. 26 for Misha, and Savannah got 31. Savannah off her game. 20 rated segment. Start that one. In another pre-show match, Falabella and No Way Jose, no, sorry, No Way, defeated Johnny Swinger and John Skyler and 8:16 when No Way pinned John Skyler with a sit-out crucifix powerbomb. 35 for that, 2 36s for No Way and Fala, and 35 and 30 for John and Johnny. Better. This is better. In a decent pre-show match, I cannot speak. Mercedes Martinez defeated Su Young in 7:39 by pinfall with a Fisherman Buster. 47 overall, 50 for Mercedes and 40 for Su Young. And we start, of course, before the Impact with the recap of last week's Impact, and of course the video package gets us a 49. As you can see, all the major players are there. And Brian Alvarez is in his office when it was Scott D'Amore just talking about what's going to be coming up this week. And it's, of course, what happened on Impact last week. Of course, we're still the champion, but Impact know that Josh Alexander is, again, the #1 contender in going for the championship. In about that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Decay defeated Aiden English and Hikalu, I think that's how you say it, 808 when Crazy Steve pinned Hikalu with a centralizer. 41 overall, 38, 47, 34, 36. I'm not trying to pronounce that name again. Yes, I have changed him back to Aiden English because my pronunciation is terrible. Jonah is shown walking backstage. He turns a corner and bumps into Johnny Gargano. Gargano says something that Jonah doesn't like. Start arguing, and then after some heated words, Gargano challenges Jonah to a match later on Impact, which they agree that will be coming up on Impact this week. 56 rated segment for that one. And on to our next segment. In a decent match, Chris Sabin defeated Madman Fulton in 8:22 by pinfall with the Cradle Shock, a 47 overall for that one. Sabin with a 49 and Madman Fulton with a 38. This is your main event. Ace Austin was at ringside, and Sabin picks up the win in our final match for the show. Overall, 48, not bad, but as in much better than last week, last show. Let's now go and have a look at Impact. And we are back with Impact Wrestling in front of 345 people in the Highlands News Sun Centre. We kick things off with a 51 for the opening package and recap from last week. And Jay White benefited from being the flavour of the month, which is always good. Josh Alexander is in the ring saying how good it was last week, that he'd become again the #1 contender when Brian Alvarez comes out, the owner, and says, tonight you will face Davey Boy Smith in the main event. And Josh Alexander just says, bring it on. Brian Alvarez, Davey Boy Smith, who is off screen. Alvarez just looks at him and with a disdain on his face that Alexander once again became the #1 contender. Only a 29 rating for that one. Oh dear. But we continue on. In a good match, John Hennigan defeated James Storm 8-11 by pinfall with the Starship Pain. 47 rated segment, 65 for John Hennigan, 45 for James Storm. This match deserves better announcing. I am looking to change the Impact commentary team in the coming weeks. 47 rated segment. 46. The Decay are talking backstage when Cassie Lee, and Jesse McKay come up, the tag team champs, bump into them, and then it's like Rosemary challenges Cassie to a match later on that evening, which is accepted. We're going to start a feud between the Decay and our women's tag team champions, the Inspiration, going forward. 46 rate segment. I think it's Cassie doesn't want to be with a script, so Havoc was a bit thrown off. 52 rated segment with bout with a good heat and decent wrestling. Carl Anderson defeated David Finlay in 7-18 by pinfall with the Anderson Spinebuster. 54 for Anderson, 42 for David Finlay. Now I did want David Finlay to win this to make it 1-1, but Carl Anderson decided he didn't want that, so I changed it and it got a 52 overall. And then in his office, Brian Alvarez sitting with Scott D'Amore, and Davey Boy Smith comes in, and Alvarez, well, sort of like belittles Davey Boy Smith, saying, "Look, you didn't get the job done last week. You better not screw up this week. I want Alexander beaten, and I do not want him to be able to fight Moose for the championship come the next pay-per-view." 35 rated segment for that one. And in a decent match, Eddie Edwards defeated Aiden English in 7-32 by pinfall with the cross-legged fisherman Buster, I think that is. I don't know what's happening with that writing, but Eddie Edwards with a 53 and Aiden English with a 38. Aiden English is getting better at his gimmick. A 43 rated overall. And then Rich Swann is making his entrance. He's going to go up against Chris Bay tonight. Well, he thought he was, because all of a sudden Jay White comes out with Morrissey and Chris Bay and said there's no match tonight, just a bad time for Rich Swann. And this gets a 46 because the next segment is they beat him down for 44, beat him down, lay him out, and really the Bullet Club are here to well, they're starting to take over, and Rich Swann looks to be their first victim. In a decent match, Cassie Lee defeated Rosemary in 6:49 by count out. This got a 47, 44 for Rosemary and a 44 for Cassie Lee. Went for the count out win, bit of a tainted win. And after the match, the beatdown continues. Havoc, of course, all four ladies at ringside, but Cassie and Jessie continue the beatdown. And just to remind Decay who are the champs, they hold the titles up as the crowd boo 40 for this segment. And then a video plays reminding what happened on before the Impact when Johnny Gargano and Jonah had a confrontation backstage and will lead to the next match. That got a 42. And the match got a 51. Good match. Johnny Gargano defeated Jonah in 8:23 by submission with the Croston Crab. Jonah had an in-ring performance of 47 and Gargano with a 59, and they just didn't seem to click for 51. So I think that might just be the end of that one before we get into a feud. And then in a decent match in the main event, Josh Alexander defeated Davey Boy Smith in 10-16 by pinfall with the Pearl River Plunge, following botched interference by Brian Alvarez. Yes, Brian Alvarez here was at ringside, tried to hit Alexander, but he hit Davey Boy Smith instead. That gave the whole opportunity for Alexander to pick up the win. 57, Davey Boy Smith with a 47, Josh Alexander with a 55. Brian Alvarez did work good ringside, and Josh Alexander benefited from an amazing form. And then on the way out, up the ramp, Davey Boy Smith is just not happy, shaking his head as Alvarez is continuing to berate Josh Alexander as he goes up. Alexander just smiles in the ring and knows once again he's got another one over the owner, Brian Alvarez. 37 rated for that one. And we finish with a 54. We increased our popularity in 33 regions. We would have gained one in Canadian region, but we haven't got the limited amount of viewers. We are going to try and get the Impact Network, I think it's called, up and running, get that higher. Alvarez is coming with a bit of money, so hopefully that will help. Big news, huge signing coming to Impact Wrestling. The contract came up and I've managed to get him, but we will have to wait and see in the coming weeks who that will be. But for now, I have been Toonboy. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please do like, share, and subscribe. And also tell everyone about Impact. We are on the way up, and thank you for watching.